The next system is called the respiratory system. Its function is to bring the oxygen from outside into your lung. So start from nose, and you have the trachea, and you have bronchi, and then you have bronchial. These are the small pipe, eventually reach your lung. So they bring the oxygen from outside and reach your lung. And after the oxygen reach your lung, your cardiovascular system will take over. So in your lung, you have a lot of blood vessel capillaries waiting there to load the oxygen. And not just bring the oxygen in, also you bring CO2 out. So the CO2 produced by every living cell when they have the cellular respiration, they use the oxygen and glucose produce ATPs. One glucose produce 38 ATPs. And the byproduct is CO2 and water. So those CO2, they will be transported by your blood, go to your lung, and you exhale those CO2 out. So you inhale oxygen, you exhale CO2, the gas exchange. That's the picture to show you, okay, well, in your thoracic cage, you have two lungs. You actually have the left and right lungs. You have 5 lobes. The left lobe has 2. The left lungs have 2 lobes. Right lung has 3 lobes. The reason is the heart. Even though the heart stay in the center, this is the heart. You actually tilt a little bit to the left. So they have to have more space for the heart to stay here. That's why the left lung only have 2 lobes. The right lung has 3. So totally 5 lobes. Okay, next system, digestive system. Digestive system is made of the tube from your mouth to anus. And this tube totally 9 meters long. So very long tube. And the small intestine itself is 7 meters. Its main function, well, digest your food. That's why it's called the digestive system. It starts from your mouth. It chew your food. That's the mechanical digestion. And also you produce saliva. Saliva help you to digest carbohydrate. There are enzymes help you to digest carbohydrate in your mouth. That's the chemical digestion. And also after the mouth, the food go to the esophagus, go to the stomach. Stomach is the main place to digest bacteria. And then it go to the small intestines. Beginning of small intestines called duodenum. It's about 12 fingers together. That distance pretty short, and that's also the place for digestion. And you have pancreas juice, and also bile. Bile is actually secreted by liver cells stored in gallbladder, and they release out to a duodenum. There's also the place to digest. And then after duodenum, the small intestines is for absorption. You not just digest your food, you also need to absorb the nutrients. So digestive systems digest the food and also absorb nutrients. So inside the GI tract, in the digestive system, we consider it's still outside the body. Like you swallow, sometimes some patients swallow something into their stomach. And into the small intestines. Inside this tube is considered outside the body. You need to have absorption to take the nutrients from this tube into your body. That's absorption. Okay, next system, urinary system, also called renal system. This system, I call them filter. The main components are these 2 kidneys. We have 2 kidneys. They are the filters. They filter your blood. They filter your blood, become urine. The waste solution become urine. So urine will go through those 2 yellow tube called the ureter. They will go down to the bladder. Bladder is the container to store urine. And eventually urine will go through urethra out. So these are the components of the renal system. So in the renal system, the most important organ, of course, that's the kidney. You have 2. And their job is to constantly filter your blood. So your blood comes from your heart. Left ventricle go to aorta. Aorta is the biggest artery. And then it will go to the whole body. And then you have one artery called the renal artery. Constantly, you have about 20% of the blood will go to the kidney. And kidney will filter those blood. And after they filter those blood, the clean blood will go through the renal vein, this blue one. textbook like to use the red color to represent the oxygenated blood. That's the artery, and the blue one represent the deoxygenated, and that's the vein. That's the renal vein. Go back, and then after they've been cleaned, the waste solution will become urine. Goes through the ureter and go down to your bladder. So your urine, you find it directly comes from your blood. And that's why all the Olympic athletes, or you want to become a nurse, they will ask you, okay, after you pass the board test, they will ask you, give the urine sample. Because anything you take in your blood will show up in the urine, because urine directly comes from your blood. So the function of the renal system, it filters your blood, and the waste solution produce urine. That's the waste solution. So if the person's kidney could not do its function, could not filter your blood, the patient have to send the blood out of the body and use a machine to clean it, and those clean blood was sent back to the body. It become a big business. This dialysis. So it depends on how bad the patient's kidneys are, and they may have to do dialysis twice a week or twice a day. That's the reason, because kidneys are the filters. They filter your blood. So the urine is formed and goes through the ureter and go down to bladder. Bladder is the temporary container for urine. And when the bladder is full, it will go through the urethra. Urethra is this tube, and the urine come out. The last system is the reproductive system. So the previous 10, the male, females, they are the same. But the last one, the reproductive system, we call them sexually dimorphic. Sexually dimorphic means boys and girls are different. So the males and females reproductive system are different. We talk about meiosis. We have the sexual reproduction to increase the genetic diversity. So when we talk about meiosis, in meiosis 1, we say they have the crossover and randomly dissociation of the chromosomes in order to increase the diversity. That's the reason. So we want to have the more diverse offspring. And they're sexually dimorphic. So the male and female reproductive system, they are different. And also the previous 10 systems, the male and female are the same, not just the same. Also, they're critical. You need all those 10 systems. The 11th, the reproductive system, is the systems we can live without it. That's why you can castrate your dog. And we do have some people, some patients, because of different reasons, they have to remove their ovaries or remove the uterus or remove the testes due to cancers, and they can live with it. So the reproductive system is the only system we can live without. There's another unique part in addition to the sexual dimorphic. And reproductive system, their job is to produce gametes, so the sex cells, the sperm and the egg. And they also produce sex hormones, the male sex hormone testosterone and the female sex hormone estrogen and progesterone. So this part, reproductive system, the testes and ovaries also, they are part of the endocrine system because they produce hormones. And this system transfer and receive sperm. So that's the sexual behavior. And sperms will go in from the vagina and they will swing through the whole uterus. It's a long journey. If you think about the sperm size, they're cells, so they're pretty small. And they go through the whole uterus. Uterus is like avocado, reverse avocado. That's the size of the uterus. And it's pretty big. So the sperm have to swim through all this and then go through the fallopian tube and meet the egg. The egg come from the fallopian tube, from the ovary of ovulation happens, and the egg go into the fallopian tube. Eventually they go to here. And so the sperm and egg meet here. It's a long journey. And this process will will make a lot of sperms not be able to reach here. So those sperms actually start from millions of them, but eventually when they reach the fallopian tube, you have thousands, and eventually only have a few hundreds that are able to really meet the egg, and the first one win. So that's the reproductive system function. It provides a site for fertilization of the oocyte. Oocyte is a name called the egg. And also in the mammals, we produce, we not just have the fertilized egg and push the egg out, that's birds. We actually have the embryo develop inside the uterus. So that's also provide the site for grow, for the embryo to grow and for the embryo to develop. So that's the function of reproductive system. So here we just simply go through those 11 different organ systems. Your job is to know those 11 systems name, what's the components they have, and what's the basic function for each of those organ systems.